Someone told you that there is a man who single-handedly conquered most of Asia and Eastern Europe in the 13th century. Right? Well, this man actually existed, and his name was Genghis Khan or Genghis Khan. The Mongol Empire, which at its greatest extent stretched from the Pacific Ocean in the east to Eastern Europe in the west. Leadership, the Mongols became one of the largest empires in history. But how did he do it? How did this man conquer the world? As we look into the life of this legendary conqueror, to my channel. In today's video, we will be looking at the life of Genghis Khan, the man who conquered the world. Stick around till the end, so let's get started. Khan was born in 1162 in a small cottage on the banks of the Onon River. Yesugei was a chieftain of a small clan of Mongols, while his mother, Hoelun, was the daughter of a rival chieftain. Genghis grew up among the other children of the Mongol aristocracy, learning the skills of horsemanship and archery. At the age of 9, he was sent to live with a foster family after his father was poisoned by rivals. He learned to survive in the harsh conditions of the Mongolian steppe, and he mastered the art of riding and fighting on horseback. He learned the customs and traditions of his people, as well as their language and history. His family were sheep herders, and he learned the skill of reading omens from nature. Skills would later help him in uniting the Mongols. That when he was just 9 years old, he showed a remarkable display of his ability to read animal signs. His foster family left for a distant pasture, and Genghis stayed behind to take care of the sheep. A fierce storm appeared out of nowhere, and an enormous flock of frightened birds flew overhead. He looked up to the sky and saw that the birds were flying in all directions, which meant that the storm would last for many days. So the birds were flapping their wings hard, indicating strong winds. He built a shelter and barricaded the mouth of the cave so that the sheep could be protected from the storm. What? His predictions were right. The storm lasted for several days, and the sheep survived thanks to his quick thinking. The foster family returned. They were amazed by his intelligence and courage, and hailed him as a hero. At 16, Genghis married a girl named Port, who became one of the most powerful women of her time. They had 4 sons and a daughter. As a young man, Genghis was known for his bravery in battle, and he soon rose to become a respected leader among the Mongols. At the time, the Mongols were divided into several independent clans, and there was constant warfare between them. However, had a vision of uniting the Mongols under one banner and creating a powerful empire that would rule over all of Asia. By forging alliances with the other clans, and he soon became the leader of a confederation of Mongol tribes. This was a smart move because there were only about 200,000 Mongols back then. If they were united, they would have more power than all the other Asian nations. In 1206, the Mongol leaders gathered at a Kurultai, or assembly, in the Kente Mountains to choose a new leader. Leaders wanted to keep the tribes separate, but some argued that they needed a strong leader to protect them from the enemies. After several days of debate, they finally agreed to make Genghis Khan the leader of the Mongols. Khan means supreme leader in Mongolian, and Genghis took the title of Genghis Khan, which means ocean of strength. His rise to power marked the beginning of the Mongol Empire. Uniting the Mongol tribes, Genghis turned his attention to expanding his empire. Target was the Kara Kitai, a Turkish state that controlled the northern part of the Silk Road. Mongols had been raided by the Karaite for years, and Genghis wanted to put an end to that. He wanted to control the trade routes to the west, which would bring great wealth to his empire. In 1218, he launched a surprise attack on the Karaite and defeated them. Control of the Silk Road, and began to receive tribute from the merchants who traveled through his empire. His economy a huge boost, and allowed him to raise a large army. He set his sights on China. The Jin dynasty was ruling over northern China at the time. Genghis wanted to conquer their cities, which were full of wealth and resources. He wanted to punish the Jurchens for their alliance with the Karaites. 1219 to 1222, he led his army on a series of campaigns against the Jurchens, capturing several cities, including the important city of Beijing. Were eventually forced to pay tribute to the Mongols and recognize Genghis Khan as the supreme ruler of northern China. Target was the Western Xia dynasty, which was located in the Gobi Desert. Xia had been raiding the Mongol borderlands for years, and Genghis wanted to put an end to that. He wanted to control the oases in the desert, which were important for trade. 23, he launched an invasion of the Western Xia and captured their capital city, forcing the Western Xia to submit to his rule. In his campaigns, Genghis Khan showed himself to be a brilliant military strategist, known for his use of psychological warfare, such as when he pretended to be fleeing from his enemies, which led to his opponents becoming trapped and easily defeated. So a master of disguise and would often go undercover to gather intelligence on his enemies. Additionally, he was a skilled negotiator and was able to forge alliances with some of the most powerful rulers in Asia. Not everything was smooth sailing for Genghis Khan. 24. While he was campaigning in the Western Xia, he suffered a serious injury during a battle by an arrow in the neck, which almost killed him. He recovered. The injury left him with a limp, and he had to wear a special hat to cover the wound. More determined to succeed, and he continued to expand his empire until his death in 1227. Of his death, the Mongol Empire stretched from the Pacific Ocean to Poland, largest contiguous land empire in history, and it had been achieved in less than 20 years. Died, he left behind a legacy of military genius, political acumen, and cultural tolerance that would inspire generations of conquerors. Khan is often remembered as a ruthless warrior who slaughtered millions of people and animals. It's true that he was responsible for the deaths of many. It is important to note that warfare was a common practice during his time, and the casualties were not uncommon. Khan also had a reputation for being tolerant of other cultures and religions, and he welcomed people of different backgrounds to serve in his court. So known for his love of poetry and his patronage of the arts. Genghis Khan a good or bad ruler? Well, it depends on your perspective. A member of the Mongol elite who benefited from his conquests, then you would probably view him as a great leader. However, you were a subject of one of the empires he destroyed, then you might see him as a ruthless conqueror. Genghis Khan was a complex figure who was both a product of his time and ahead of his era. Brilliant military strategist and a skilled politician who was able to unite and lead a diverse group of people. So a ruthless warrior who was willing to do whatever it took to achieve his goals. Or hate him, there's no denying that Genghis Khan was one of the most influential figures in history, and his legacy continues to be felt today. Folks, that's all for today's video. Enjoyed learning about the legendary conqueror Genghis Khan. Learn more about amazing historical figures like Genghis Khan, then stay tuned for more updates. Thanks for watching. See ya.